I'm Jen, and this is my verdict on the Saucony Guide 16. So this is Saucony's daily support shoe, and it's an updated version of the previous iteration, which was the Saucony Guide 15. In terms of what's different, you've got more of Saucony's Power Run foam in the midsole. The sock liner has been updated, so that's now softer and just a bit more comfortable. The upper is also a bit softer and a bit more flexible, and it's also a smidge lighter. So the Guide 15 weighed in at 233 grams in the women's, and this weighs in at 221 grams in the women's. So what did I think of the shoe? Well, I'm a runner who overpronates and has flat feet, so I tend to use support shoes for the bulk of my miles, and actually I found this was a shoe that suited me really well. So in terms of the support technology, you've got a hollow tech frame positioned on the sidewalls at the heel and the forefoot, and this is basically a lighter and less intrusive version of a medial post, and it's something that I really liked. So you could kind of feel that pronation control, but it wasn't overly so that it felt kind of intrusive, or I didn't feel that it was kind of interfering with my gait. So the cushioning is definitely on the firmer side. I'd say it actually feels quite similar to the Asics Gel Kayano 29 if you're familiar with that stability shoe. It's not super springy, but it is still responsive, and I actually think it strikes the balance really well of being kind of stiff and firm, but not overly so. But actually it does feel quite different to the Gel Kayano 29. So that shoe has a drop of 13 millimeters in the women's, and this has a drop of 6 millimeters. So it does actually feel quite different. For me, I prefer the lower drop. I feel like it promotes more of a midfoot strike and just generally puts a little bit less load on my knees. The heel counter is quite stiff, which is something that I'm a fan of. I like that feeling of my Achilles and my heel just feeling nice and supported, and you definitely get that with this shoe. The interior is also nice and padded and just helps to create that sensation of your Achilles being cradled. And there's also this elastic strap here, which I didn't necessarily notice, but I imagine that helps to create that really secure foothold. You've also got a nice plush padded tongue which sits comfortably across the top of the foot, and as mentioned, the upper has been redesigned in the latest version of the shoe. So the fabric is just a little bit softer, and it just feels like it's got a bit more flex to it than the Guide 15 did. So looking at the outsole, it's comprised of two types of rubber. So you've got a soft blown rubber at the forefoot, and then at the heel and the midfoot you've got a firmer rubber, and that just provides some added stability. And I had absolutely no issues with grip when I was wearing the shoe. Even when I tested these during some rainy runs, I had no issues with slippage. So on the run, these definitely felt better suited to easy miles, and that's because the cushioning isn't overly responsive. However, because they are so light, they don't feel sort of sluggish or cumbersome during more up-tempo sessions. That said, these probably wouldn't be my choice for speed work or racing sort of shorter distances like 5Ks or 10Ks. These really are a shoe that's most at home doing kind of long weekend runs, long miles, and those easy, nice, slow recovery runs. The Guide 16 is a great daily workhorse shoe, and if you're somebody who overpronates and needs a stability shoe for doing the bulk of your miles in, these are a great option. So they're priced at £130, which is fairly standard for a running shoe these days, but for that you get plenty of structure and stability, some really nice balanced cushioning, and just a generally really comfortable ride, and they are just a joy to run in.